Dear students, good evening and a warm welcome to CSAT Made Easy 2025 series, where we discuss the most exam specific concepts and questions for the CSAT paper of 25 year. Today's topic would be reading comprehension, and in reading comprehension particularly we will study inferences. You must have, if you have seen PYQs or if you have attended CSAT paper earlier, you will know that some passage will be given and the question would be what can be inferred from this passage, or what is the most logical and rational inference from this passage. That would be the type of question that you can expect in inferences. Okay, before going to the questions, let's try to define what an inference is. Inference is something which you can deduce from the passage or inference, it is a conclusion which you can arrive at by studying the passage. What do I mean by it and how do we identify inferences? We will get to know when we start solving the questions. Before starting the questions, I will give you some tips to identify inferences. Look at the screen. The first tip is, whatever the passage says, accept it. Take the given information to be true. Whatever the passage says, accept it to be true. Do not get into conflict with your common sense and the passage. Just whatever is given in the passage, just accept it to be true. Then usually inference would be such a thing. In after reading the passage, you would if the given option, if it is such that after reading the passage, if you can say, so I think that so and so, then that so and so would be your inference. Again, you will understand what it means when we start solving the problems. And the third tip is, use option elimination method. Unlike your mathematical questions or even non-reading comprehension reasoning questions, in reading comprehension, not only in inference, in all the reading comprehension questions, it is very difficult to arrive at the correct answer. It is very difficult to arrive at the correct answer directly. So the best method would be to eliminate the less correct ones. In other words, choose the most appropriate answer, we shall eliminate the less appropriate ones. Rather than thinking in terms of correct and wrong, we can think in the terms of more appropriate and less appropriate, and we will eliminate the less appropriate ones to arrive at the most appropriate one. You understand these three tips and remember the definition that I gave you. Inference is something that you can deduce from the passage, or inference is a conclusion which you can arrive at after reading the passage. However, I must warn you one thing, UPSC doesn't stick to the definition strictly. So, option elimination is always the best method for solving reading comprehension questions. And another thing about reading comprehension questions is, solving them, it is a beneficial thing to do. Some students, they are afraid of attempting reading comprehension questions because 100% accuracy is rare. However, I still advise that you attempt reading comprehension questions. If you attempt, let's say 20 questions, even the weakest student, I think he will be able to answer 10 of them correctly. And even the most practiced student, he would be able to attempt maybe 18 to 19 of them correctly. 20 out of 20 correctly, it is very rare to see in reading comprehension. However, based on this probability, I advise that do attempt reading comprehension questions after practicing them. Okay. Now, let's begin with the first question. This is a very basic question. The passage is just one sentence. What is the sentence? The movie KGF was a commercial hit. That is the passage. Okay. Which of the following statements can be inferred from the passage given? Okay. There are 4 inferences. We have to choose which is the most appropriate inference. The critics loved KGF. Maybe we'll keep it pending. The audience loved KGF. It looks to be true. Okay. Both the critics and audience loved KGF. Maybe. Neither the critics nor the audience loved KGF. We will reject this one, because if neither the critics nor the audience loved, then it could not have been a commercial hit. Now we are left with 3 options. The first one says critics, the second one says audience, and the third one says both critics and audience. Let's go back to the passage. The passage says that the movie KGF was a commercial hit. So the keyword here is commercial. For a movie to be commercially successful, what is necessary? Viewers, audience are necessary. So the audience loved KGF. I think that is enough. But what about critics? Even they could have loved KGF. Yes, they could have loved KGF, but we cannot infer it from the passage given. If they had given us that movie KGF, it attained it attained international acclaim, or it won some awards, then we could have said that critics loved KGF. However, they are saying that it was a commercial hit, so we will choose the option audience loved KGF. It does not mean that critics did not love KGF. It could have been. Even critics could have loved KGF, and option A and C, both of them could have been right. However, what we can infer from the given passage is only option B. Commercial hit, audience. Yes, that is what we can infer. Now you can compare this question with the tips I had given you. What were the tips? Take the information given to be true. Yes, we took KGF to be commercial hit. What is the second tip? Usually inference is something which you can say after reading the passage. So I think. Okay, let's see. The movie KGF was a commercial hit. So I think the audience loved KGF. Yes, it suits perfectly. The movie KGF was a commercial hit. So I think the audience loved KGF. Okay. Then we used option elimination method. Yes. So using the three tips that I mentioned, we could arrive at this answer. This was just a basic question to give you an idea of what an inference is. Now let's go to the next question. This is not a basic question. However, this is not a very tough question also. Let's read the passage. While still in his 20s, Orson Welles produced what is widely regarded as the greatest film ever made, Citizen Kane. But alas, that was the crest of his career graph. Although he continued to produce films, everything seemed to go steadily downhill. Since the world is a heartless place, there is no dearth of those who will gleefully hit a man when he is down. An acerbic critic even called Welles the world's youngest has-been. Okay. This is a long passage. So what we will do, we will underline keywords from each sentence so that when we read the question, if we feel the need to read the passage again, we will not read the passage entirely. We will read that portion which refers to the question. Okay, what do I mean by this? First, let's read the first sentence. While still in his 20s, Orson Welles produced what is widely regarded as the greatest film ever made, Citizen Kane. Here I will underline Orson Welles. Okay, it is not necessary that you underline the same term that I did. You can underline anything that will help you to recollect the concept. When after studying the question, if I read the underlined Orson Welles keyword, I will be able to recollect that in his 20s he produced the greatest film called Citizen Kane. If you want, you can underline Citizen Kane also. That is left to you. Okay. Let's go to the second sentence. But alas, that was the crest of his career graph. What is crest? Crest is the highest level. Okay. So, but alas, that was the crest of his career graph. Here I will underline crest. Okay. Although he continued to produce films, everything seemed to go steadily downhill. It means that he produced Citizen Kane and it was the height of his success. Then his next films, they were not as good as Citizen Kane. So we can underline downhill here. Okay. Since the world is a heartless place, there is no dearth of those who will gleefully hit a man when he is down. Dearth, the word dearth means scarcity or paucity. So this sentence says that the world is a heartless place where when a man is down, they will hit him, or they will not be good to him. Okay. So here I will underline heartless. Okay. An acerbic critic even called Welles the world's youngest has-been. Has-been, the word has-been, it represents something that has happened, or that is no longer in currency. Has-been, it signifies that thing. An acerbic critic even called Welles the world's youngest has-been. We will underline has-been. Now we will look at the question. Which of the following statements can be inferred from the passage given? Men who found success as early as in their 20s see failure later in their life. Can we come to this inference based on the passage given? No. Even I told you that you should accept what is given in the passage. So you might ask me, we accepted and it happened to Orson Welles. So why can't we call it the inference? The passage says that it happened to Orson Welles. However, there is no indication in the passage that it happens to everyone. It merely states that Orson Welles attained his success in his 20s and then his career graph went on steadily downhill. However, there is no generalization about this. So, we will reject inference 1. Okay. Look at statement 2. People are usually unkind to a failed man. Where is this being talked about? In heartless. Since the world is a heartless place where there is no dearth of those who will gleefully hit a man when he is down. So, it means that when a man is a failure, people will not be kind to him. So, we can arrive at this inference based on this sentence. Since the world is a heartless place, there is no dearth of those who will gleefully hit a man when he is down. The passage is directly referring to it. So, we can infer statement 2 from the passage given. According to my tip, you can do this. After reading the passage, so I think that people are usually unkind to a failed man. My tip 2, it works for this. So, your answer would be 2 only. Okay. Now, we will go to the next question. This is an actually examination level question. This is the length of passage that you can expect in your examination. Given its rich history and its importance since millennia as a center of trade and cultural exchange, Uzbekistan is home to ancient cities with magnificent monuments, art and architecture, thanks to the legacy left behind by conquerors such as Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Amir Taimur, who brought together thinkers, scholars and traders from across the world. This is a very lengthy sentence, so I will underline more than one keyword for myself. Okay. Given its rich history and its importance since millennia as a center of trade and cultural exchange, I will underline rich history. Then I will underline center of trade and cultural. Then I will underline Uzbekistan. Then I will underline conquerors. Then I will underline thinkers, scholars and traders. Too many concepts, they have fit in a single sentence. So, we will underline more than one term. Okay. The attractions are few, but each of the cities on the Silk Road are quietly proud of their UNESCO World Heritage Sites and various historical and architectural treasures that conjure up the legends of the past. I will underline Silk Road and UNESCO World Heritage Sites. That means that along the Silk Road, the attractions, even though they are few, those few happen to be UNESCO World Heritage Sites and they bring back the memory of the past. With every step forward, you are transported over 100 years back with centuries of history unfolding. So, what can you underline? With every you are transported, we can underline history unfolding. Okay, it means that with the sight of each monument or each relic of the past, history unfolds to you when you walk along the Silk Road. Okay. Interestingly, Uzbekistan is not stuck in its glorious past. It has embraced modernity and a progressive cosmopolitan outlook while preserving its cultural heritage. Okay. What will we underline here? I will underline modernity and a cosmopolitan outlook. Okay. Now, we will read the question. Which of the following statements can be inferred from the passage given? Uzbekistan is struggling to simultaneously manage its heritage and modernity. Where is it being talked about? In the last sentence. Uzbekistan is not stuck in its glorious past. It has embraced modernity and a progressive cosmopolitan outlook while preserving cultural heritage. The sentence says that, the passage says that it gives an indication or it gives an impression that Uzbekistan is doing a fine job balancing both its cultural heritage and its history and also its modern cosmopolitan outlook. So we will reject option A because also option A says that Uzbekistan is struggling. However, the passage gives us an impression that Uzbekistan is doing a fine job doing that. So we will reject option A entirely. Let's go to option B. Countries with rich history embrace a modern cosmopolitan outlook. Maybe we will not, we do not have a strong reason to reject it yet. We will keep it pending. Then we will go to option C. Countries with rich history have legacy monuments. It seems very right. Okay, we'll keep this one pending. Then this is option D. Okay, look at option D. Uzbekistan has the most ancient cities and monuments. Where is this being talked about? In the third line, Uzbekistan is home to ancient cities and magnificent monuments. But the key term in option D is most. It says that Uzbekistan has the most ancient cities and monuments. It would imply that the rest of the countries, they cannot match with Uzbekistan. But there is no indication about that. Uzbekistan has ancient cities and monuments, yes, but the most ancient cities and most ancient monuments, no. It would be an extreme case, and there is no indication, there is no impression to arrive at this conclusion from the passage. So we will reject option D as well. Now we are left with option B and option C. Let's read them again. Countries with rich history embrace a modern cosmopolitan outlook. Maybe. Countries with rich history have legacy monuments. Okay. I think for option C, we need to read the first sentence again. Given its rich history and its importance since millennia as a center of trade and cultural exchange, Uzbekistan is home to ancient cities and magnificent monuments, art and architecture, thanks to the legacy of conquerors, so and so. Okay. Okay. So option C, it seems very right. Now let's go to option B again. Countries with rich history embrace a modern cosmopolitan outlook. Okay, where is this? It is in the last sentence. Uzbekistan is not stuck in its glorious past. It has embraced modernity and a progressive cosmopolitan outlook while preserving its cultural heritage. I think we can now reject option B because the author is giving us an impression that Uzbekistan, even though it has a glorious past, even though it has a rich history, it has embraced modern cosmopolitan outlook. But he is not implying that all the countries with rich history do that. Even though the word all is not mentioned here, option B, it is giving us an impression that usually countries do that. However, the author is not saying that usually countries do that. He is merely saying that Uzbekistan is doing a fine job. If we want to infer something from that, we can draw a weak inference that perhaps other countries are not doing it so well and Uzbekistan is doing a very fine job. But option B, it says that usually, it means that usually countries with rich history embrace a modern cosmopolitan outlook. However, the author is not saying that. The author is saying that Uzbekistan is doing that, but there is no mention of other countries, and also it seems as though he is praising Uzbekistan to be doing it in comparison with others which are perhaps not doing it. So we'll reject option B. Option C is the only option which is left to us, and actually we can draw it. We can draw it from this passage. How? Given its rich history and importance since millennia as a center of trade and cultural exchange, Uzbekistan is home to ancient. He is saying that because of Uzbekistan having a rich history and it being a center of trade and cultural exchange, that is why it has ancient cities. So it means that usually countries with rich history and which have been center of trade and cultural exchange, they usually have monuments and ancient cities. So option C would be our answer. Okay. Now I think you are able to, I think you got an idea of what an inference is, and you will be able to identify inference from the question. Okay. Now it is time for your homework question. This question, it was asked in 23 CSAT paper. Let's read the passage. Good corporate governance structures encourage companies to provide accountability and control, A fundamental reason why corporate governance has moved on to the economic and political agenda worldwide has been the rapid growth in international capital markets. Effective corporate governance enhances access to external financing by firms, leading to greater investment, higher growth, and employment. Investors look to place their funds where the standards of disclosure, of timely, accurate financial and reporting, and of equal treatment to all stakeholders are met. Which of the following statements best reflects the logical inference from the passage given above? Okay. For this question, I have also given you a clue. Look at the underlined words. In option A, I have underlined countries. In option B, I have underlined improves. Option C, ensure, and option D, supply chains. Read the passage, read the options, then give attention to the underlined words, and you will be able to arrive at the answer. We will, once you have solved the problem, leave your answers in the comment section. We will discuss the answer to this problem in the next class. And now it is time to answer the previous classes homework question. What was the previous classes homework? What was the previous class on? It was on notations and board marks, right? This is the question. If A plus B means A minus B and A minus B means A into B means A divided by and A divided by means A plus B, then what is the value of A plus 10 plus 30 minus 100 into 50 divided by 25? Operations are to be replaced simultaneously. How do we solve this? First, we will write the numbers without any symbols. 10, 30, 100, 50, 25. Then, between 10 and 30, there is plus sign in the question. And the question says that plus means minus. So, we will write minus. Then, between 30 and 100, there is minus. And minus means into. 100 into 50, into means divided by. And 50 divided by 25, divided by means plus. Okay. Now, we have replaced the symbols. Now, we have a proper mathematical operation to, mathematical expression to solve. And now, we will apply our board mass rule. As per our board mass rule, division comes before multiplication, addition and subtraction. Where is division? It is here. So, we will do that one first. 10 minus 30 into 100 divided by 50, that would be 2 plus 25. Okay. Then, after division, we have multiplication. Here is multiplication. 10 minus 60 plus 25. Then, division, multiplication, addition. We will add this one and this one. That would be 35 minus 60. Then, we are left with only subtraction. 35 minus 60, that would be minus 25. So, minus 25 is your answer. Okay. If you like our classes, do watch them regularly. We upload one episode every evening. And if you want us to continue the classes till your CSAT paper of 25, do share the link to this video with your friends in your WhatsApp groups, in your study Telegram groups, so that there are more audience to the videos, and we come to know that since there is audience to the videos, we will be continuing the series. Thank you, and most of all, happy studying.